My name is Sophia. I was 26 years old, and until that evening, I had never truly known what romance felt like. People often talked about love, about butterflies, about heartbeats, about magical moments. But honestly, I thought those things only happened in movies. Then I met Ethan. He wasn't the most handsome man in the world. He wasn't rich, and he didn't say perfect words. But there was something about him, something that made my heart beat a little faster every time he smiled. Ethan had beautiful green eyes, and whenever he looked at me, I felt like I was the only woman in the world. He always remembered the little things. My favorite coffee, my favorite flowers, even the songs I secretly loved. No one had ever paid attention to me like that before. We had been dating for 6 months, and on a quiet Saturday evening, he invited me to spend the night at his beautiful lakeside cabin. I remember standing in front of the mirror for almost an hour. My hands were shaking. Not because I was afraid, but because I wanted everything to be perfect. I chose my favorite dress, soft perfume, light makeup, and a smile that I couldn't hide. My heart was beating faster than usual because I knew this night would be special. But deep inside, I had no idea that the first night of romance would become the most unforgettable night of my life. And the moment I arrived at the cabin, I saw something that made me stop breathing for a second. Hundreds of tiny golden lights were hanging around the wooden porch. White roses were everywhere. Soft music was playing in the background. And standing in the middle of it all was Ethan. He was wearing a navy blue shirt that I once told him looked handsome on him. And in his hands, he was holding my favorite flowers. "Welcome, beautiful. I've been waiting for you all day." I couldn't stop smiling, but somehow I also felt nervous. My cheeks became warm, and when he walked closer, I could smell his cologne. Suddenly, my heartbeat became even faster. "You look stunning tonight, Sophia." Nobody had ever looked at me the way Ethan looked at me in that moment. His eyes were full of affection. His smile was soft and sincere. And somehow just standing beside him made me feel safe. But a few moments later, Ethan suddenly became strangely quiet. His smile disappeared, and his eyes filled with emotions I had never seen before. "Sophia, there is something I need to tell you before tonight becomes even more special." And at that moment, I had absolutely no idea that his next words would change everything between us forever. Ethan's voice sounded different. It was softer, more serious, and somehow my heart immediately became restless. "Sophia, come with me." He gently held my hand, and honestly, just feeling his fingers around mine made my entire body shiver. The night breeze was cool. The lake looked beautiful under the moonlight. Everything felt magical, almost unreal. Then Ethan led me to a small wooden dock near the water, and I froze. More candles were glowing softly around us. A table for two had been prepared. My favorite cheesecake was waiting there. Tears almost filled my eyes. "You remembered?" Ethan smiled. "I remember everything about you." My heart melted. No man had ever made me feel this loved. After dinner, we sat together near the fireplace inside the cabin. We laughed. We shared old memories. We talked about our dreams. And every time our eyes met, I felt butterflies dancing inside me. There was something incredibly attractive about Ethan that night. The way he smiled, the way he listened, the way he gently brushed my hair away from my face. Every little touch made my cheeks turn red. "You're beautiful, Sophia. Do you know that?" I lowered my eyes shyly. "Stop making me blush." He laughed softly, and honestly, his laughter was becoming my favorite sound in the world. Hours passed without us noticing. Midnight had already arrived. Rain began falling outside, and somehow the sound of the rain made everything even more romantic. Ethan moved closer to me, close enough that I could hear his breathing. My heart started beating wildly. I could barely breathe. "Sophia, can I tell you something? Anything." He looked deeply into my eyes, and suddenly I saw tears in his eyes. Real tears. My smile disappeared immediately. "Ethan, what's wrong?" He took a deep breath. "Sophia," Ethan's words completely changed the atmosphere around us. My heartbeat became slower, and suddenly I couldn't hear the sound of the rain anymore. "Sophia, please don't be scared." His voice was shaking, and for the first time since I met him, Ethan looked nervous. "Before I met you, I stopped believing in love. I stayed silent. After my parents divorced, I promised myself that I would never let anyone get too close." Tears slowly rolled down his cheeks. "Then you came into my life, and somehow you changed everything." My eyes immediately became watery. I wasn't expecting that. The fire inside the cabin danced softly. Rain continued falling outside, and there we were, two people looking at each other like the rest of the world didn't exist. "Sophia, I know 6 months isn't a long time, but every morning I wake up thinking about you, and every night you're the last person on my mind." I couldn't stop smiling through my tears. Ethan gently touched my hand. Even that small touch sent butterflies through my entire body. My cheeks became warm, and without realizing it, I moved a little closer to him. "You're blushing again." Ethan laughed softly. "Because of you." He smiled, and honestly, his smile was becoming my weakness. The lights around the cabin reflected beautifully in his eyes. I had never seen anyone look at me with so much affection. It wasn't just attraction. It wasn't just romance. It felt deeper than that. "Sophia, thank you for making me believe in love again." At that moment, I wrapped my arms around him, and he held me close. Safe, warm, loved. I rested my head on his shoulder, and for a few beautiful moments, nothing else mattered. "Sophia, Will you promise me something? What is it? Promise me that no matter what happens in life, we'll always fight for us. Tears escaped from my eyes. I promise. He kissed my forehead gently, and somehow that simple moment felt more romantic than anything I had ever imagined. Because real romance isn't about expensive gifts or perfect words. It's about feeling completely loved by the person standing beside you. Years